Yeah. Nah, welcome to another episode of Candid Talk with your host, Rasheen Winter Harris. Yeah, I've probably seen this man a few times already, but you should, it's my man, Shaq Daddy. Pause. Sorry, you guys. But nah, welcome back. Shaq Daddy overall, man. Appreciate you coming back on the pod. Man, we might have to just make you an official co-host one of these times, man. I have certain people that I actually have very, very great conversations with. And I think this convo today is gonna be an interesting one because I would definitely
I ain't
like your
ready.
feedback.
I'm not ready for the trigger.
So I mean I'm not trying to trick you. I just wanted to
Alright.
today's topic is pretty much what I'm
Alright.
curious. Is technology helping or hurting our society? And join us today as we discuss that overall. And
mm.
yeah, this is an interesting one. So let's get it.
It's Candid Talk where we lay it down. No room for fakes, we wear the crown.
All right. So as far as like technology in general, are you a tech person? Are you techie?
I
Are you good
would
with tech?
not consider myself a techie,
Oh, okay.
only because there's so many things that you can do now with technology that I haven't even begun to tap into. So
Okay.
AI is fairly new to me, but
Mm,
like I can say I've been using AI for like 8 months.
8 months of AI. I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's fairly new. But even before AI, like we had technology for a while, and it was like, I mean, overall, I if you kind of, I guess, into computers a little bit, or if you use it like cell phones, I think cell phones is probably the main, I think,
Well,
technology
yeah.
that everybody actually
So yeah, to that
utilizes.
extent, like technology as far as cell phones,
Hmm.
definitely the progression of cell phones has been interesting to say the least.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Um, right now, as far as technology and the cell phone is concerned, I use my cell phone for mainly the things that actors use it for.
Bookings.
Finding gigs,
Yeah, facts.
doing content to,
Hmm.
build the buzz around yourself or your brand.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then furthermore, staying in tune with, well, this is how I stay in tune with news. Because a
Mm.
lot of people post the important clips of news. And then if I feel like it's something I need to deep dive into, then I'll go look for the full clip. But
Hmm.
yeah, so that's mainly what I use it for. Money making, definitely secondary information. And then if I just am somewhere bored, doctor's office, something like that, and I'm looking
Hmm.
for something to entertain myself, okay.
Got you. I feel like most people use it more for entertainment than, like you said, as far as like information, because everybody's reading into fake news. Like, how do you feel like when it comes to like spreading news? Do you think like technology is actually helping with that, or do you think people are just kind of getting their own way when it comes to like the news that they're
Well,
getting?
I'm gonna have to say both on that one.
Mm.
People get their own way because they, only like, and the algorithms usually set them to see things that they like. So if they're looking at some more foolishness all the time, that's all they're gonna ever see. Cop car chases, brutality, whatever, whatever, what have you. If you're more of a politician, then that's more of what's gonna pop up on your feed. You like politics, they're gonna continue to show you what's going on in the politics.
Hmm.
So when it comes down to it, it's
Oh,
just a
like
choice
pretty much
of what
algorithm.
entertains you.
Yeah.
Because whatever entertains you is what you're gonna get on social media.
No, that's a fact. Hmm. Well, I mean, as far as like algorithm too, do you think? Because I feel like when you say like feeding, because I know that's one thing. Like sometimes if you just see things one time, or if you talk about it, because I feel like my phone is always listening to me.
It
Like even
is.
if I'm just talking about something lightly.
It is.
Yeah, it really is, and it just starts popping up in the algorithm. Do
But
you think
see,
that's an issue, or do you think that's a positive type thing?
it's an issue because that's a lot of your information or things about you that certain people or entities don't need to know, but
Mm.
it helps them make money.
Do you also think that's like limiting the information? Because before, like I feel like when I was growing up, because we didn't really have that necessarily. I'm one of those '80s, late '80s baby. You know what I'm talking about? So it was like a transition where you actually got to get all the information because it's all coming at once. Versus where it's narrowing down what you just look. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of had a little bit of everything versus now I feel like people only have this one topic, and it feeds into, I guess, this narrowed mindset and almost. Do
Well,
you see what I mean? Like, does it? Do you see it that way as well, or no? Because
it's
that's what I feel like the
narrowed.
algorithm does.
That's what the algorithm does. It
Mm-hmm.
narrows the scope into things that you like again. But like I said back then, we were very limited
Yeah.
on what we could know about
Well, unless you knew where to
because
look, unless you knew where to look, because we always had libraries and things like that, like information and
yeah,
newspapers and
but
magazines.
ain't nobody going in the newspaper to look up in Saudi Arabia what's
Oh
going
yeah,
on.
nah. Oh
See what
well,
I'm
yeah, it's
saying?
more broad. Yeah, nah, that's right. That's right.
So where you saying it narrows everything down, you still gonna end up with them couple of clips that show you what's going
I
on
actually like what you
across
just
the
said because
world.
I want to feed off of that because, like you said, across the world, don't you think that might be a little bit of an issue because now we're seeing things that we normally wouldn't have. So now we're focusing and caring on things that doesn't necessarily relate to us directly. I mean,
No, that
it is a sad, like sad things happen around the world,
right.
but now it's like it almost like it focuses outside of where we need to focus on things that we
Well, I
have
mean,
going
that's
on
the
too.
thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, the algorithm only gives you what you want.
Mm,
So if you are the type of person that's nosy as hell and want to know what's going on all over the world, then that's what you're gonna know. But if you're really concerned and you're really honed in on what particularly pertains to you or affects you directly, then that's what you see.
mm.
So it's not a hindrance to knowledge or information. It's what we choose to want to see.
Now, as far as like knowledge and stuff like that, that's one thing because that
Hmm.
pretty much has information. Do you think that technology is actually dumbing people down because it's also thinking for people now? Like,
Well, I
for one
mean,
main example, I always use is math because now people can't even think, they can't even count. I remember it was a video you sent me, matter of fact. Only cannot. He was like, if I gave you what 2020s,
yeah,
how much money would you have?
right.
Homie was like
40.
40. No, 200.
No, he went through a lot before he got to
Oh yeah, he
200.
did. He said 20, 40, 60, 80, 300. So really what I was crazy that what overall do you think that technology is dumbing people down in a way where they're not actually using their brains? Because I even spoke about this before as far as using GPS. Like that's my weakness. Like I don't learn what stuff is at. I don't learn where places are because I just use the GPS for everything. So I try to not use it as much now to reprogram my brain where we used to know
Well, that's that's
things.
still kind of hard to navigate because, like I said, there are those that, okay, even back in the day, let's just take it back to the time when things weren't so tech savvy. You just got to think about it. Some people were just destined to be dumb.
No, that's 1,000% true.
I'm
And that,
just saying, like, I raised with motherfuckers that was in the simple math classes with me that
I
just
remember
couldn't
that.
get it.
Yeah, nah, yeah, I remember that
And
because
nowadays, now we're just on technology and social media and stuff, and we can see that there are a plethora of dumb
yeah,
people in the world.
and it felt like they're the ones that's just trying to just stand out. Like, hey, look
The
at
dumbest
me.
people
The
do
dumbest
stand
people
out.
are
Why?
literally.
Because dumb people like to know that they're not alone.
You know what? I actually agree with that. Sadly, and I feel like they're coming together to try to be like, we're not dumb,
Right.
and dumbing down on the dumbness,
Dumbing up.
dumbing up. They're dumb, dumbing up together.
Yep. Like they say where I'm from, that boy, they dumb up.
You know what? That's a fact. You really can't blame technology for just some people just not learning because learning is it's a real thing. Like anybody
Right.
can do it at any phase, like because at any age too, because you can start
Right.
learning right the fuck. You can
People
be
are getting degrees in their
in
70s,
their 70s.
60s. So yeah, like if
Yeah,
you're
nah,
just
that's a
destined to
fact.
be dumb, you're destined to be dumb.
If you're an idiot and you're destined to be an idiot, you're a fucking idiot. That's just real facts, real spit, as they say.
Right.
Oh damn. So now, honestly, with that right there, because I agree with that, I really have nothing else to add to this whole topic because as you said, and I actually agree with that. I can't blame technology
Right.
as far
You
as like a
can't blame
hindrance
technology for giving
because it's
people
a tool.
knowledge at their fingertips.
It's a tool.
If
Facts.
you don't use it, you lose it.
That's actually a classic. But nah, facts overall. So yeah, honestly, take advantage of the technology you have at your hands. Like, 'cause for one, if you use it, you can enhance yourself. But if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Then you just kind of going, you becoming brainless because you're brainless.
Right.
So yeah,
And
nah,
that
facts.
there's nothing technology has done or hasn't done to make anything any better or worse. It's just people have to want to know. And if they don't want to know, they won't. I
Nah, yeah,
promise.
facts.
Because even the simplest things that people go through in life, if they just looked into technology and knew how to be a good student and follow directions,
Nah, yeah, facts.
everyone could be successful.
Yep.
But
I,
everybody just wants it to happen out of thin air. Like
yeah, that's
there's
just a
a
lazy dream that most people
fairy
have.
godmother or something going to pop out of somewhere and say, "Oh my gosh, I see you're in distress.
Fairy
Let me help
godmother.
you." And that's not, no, it's
No,
not how this works.
I'm 1,000% with you.
You got to put
Yeah,
in the work.
I'm with that. Honestly, I have nothing else. So overall, I'm gonna end it with Shaq right there. And overall, let's just try to smarten up. Let's stay sharp. You're only gonna be as sharp as the person you spar with. So get around some sharp people as well, as they say.
Yeah.
And sometimes reading and the information that you're studying, that's actually a sparring tool because somebody wrote that. So that's also something that they say.
Well,
Um,
see, that's the other thing. Now, okay, let's broaden your topic a little bit
yeah.
because, I mean, like I said, if you're destined to be dumb, you're going to be dumb, right? But I will say that technology has not made people dumber, it's made them lazier.
Mm, fair enough.
Because when people don't have to read because they can put in some type of app the text that they want read to them or look up an audio book and have it be read to them, they're getting the knowledge,
Mm,
whether they're really taking it in at the level that they could be taking it in if they actually read it themselves, saw the words, you know what I'm saying, and actually implemented the strategies or tactics that they're telling you to improve your life with, is a different story. So it's made them lazier because now they don't have to physically read. They don't have to physically look at the words. They don't have to physically pronounce them themselves. They can just listen to gather knowledge, which is cool. But to a certain extent, the more you do something, the more you learn it.
yeah.
So writing, reading, seeing, hearing, that's four things that you now done took out of the way because now you just audiobooking it.
Nah, that's a
And
fact.
you remember a little bit of it, but you remember a whole lot more if you would have read it yourself, saw the words, heard you pronouncing the words, and been writing notes about what you learned from it or whatever, what have you.
Yeah, you talking about behaviors of learning right there.
Right.
Most people aren't familiar with that type of stuff
No,
either,
they're
though.
not.
So yeah, having multiple ways
So,
of learning something is actually how you actually become a master of it, but
right.
master of none at the same time because you learn once you become to a master level. There's so many different ways that you could have done this from the beginning. And so yeah, that's
So,
actually
yeah,
extremely
not
accurate.
making them dumber, just lazier.
Yeah.
I can agree to that because technology didn't do nothing to make nobody dumb. It gave you more than you took from it.
Hey, now we definitely gonna end it right there. Well, until next time, listen, like I said, use that tech to get ahead. And if not, it is what it is. But
Right.
fuck it.
Continue to pay it.
Exactly. But until next time, peace to the God. Peace to the goddess. Peace.